Mengangkat martabat pribadi untuk semua insani. Seperti arus sungai yang deras kemuara, tetap gigih berjuang tak putus asa, mengakur janji perpaduan di bumi ini, bangsa penuh warna. Bersama kita taat setia untuk semangat membara, melangkah tabah megagah demi rasa cinta ini, demi satu bangsa. Demimu Malaysia, demimu Malaysia. Demimu Malaysia.
Very good evening to everyone present here tonight. My name is Brian and I'll be your host for tonight. On behalf of the JPO family, we'd like to extend a warm welcome to everyone tuning in to tonight's broadcast. We hope that everyone is doing well and staying safe indoors. A friendly reminder to maintain good hygiene at all times and maintain social distancing when heading out. As we'd like to continue improving your experience with us, please help us achieve this by completing the poll that will be published during this broadcast. To anyone who is interested in sharing tonight's broadcast, a live feed is being shared on the JPO YouTube channel. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask, please feel free to type them out in the Q&A section down below. For those of you joining us from YouTube, please type out your questions in the live chat down below, and we'll address them shortly. A recording of the webinar will also be uploaded onto the YouTube channel. Tonight's seminar features a local star right here in Sabah, Dr.Ian Stephen Baxter, with his topic being a multi-ethnic approach to music education in Sabah, Malaysia. Dr. Ian Stephen Baxter presents himself as a music arranger, a jazz musician, but most of all, an educator. Dr. Ian Stephen Baxter holds a Bachelor of Music in Commercial Arranging, which he obtained from the Berklee College of Boston. He studied arranging with Bob Friedman, Bud Billings, and Denise Grillo. He then went on to receive his master's degree in composition from the Queenstown University of Technology in Australia, and then went on to obtain his Doctor of Philosophy, or PhD, in music from the University of Malaysia, Sabah, or UMS for short. He also co-founded the Baxter and James Music Corporation in Sabah, Malaysia, back in 1989, and continued to operate it until 1998. The company ran a recording studio and provided music lessons in jazz and pop to music students aged 12 years old and above. During this period, he had also arranged and recorded music local albums, jingles, and corporate music for the local Malaysian market. He also worked as an arranger and sessionist for the Sabah Centenary Celebration album in 1990. He arranged and recorded a song competition organized by Yayasan Sabah in 1994 for its corporate theme, while also serving as a judge for various song competitions, one of which was for the Kota Kinabalu theme song competition for when the city obtained its new city status back in 2006. He had also collaborated with the Better Recording Company of Kuala Lumpur to produce recordings for the Sabah Baru campaign in 1996. Additionally, Ian had also worked as an arranger for the Radio Television Malaysia Combo, or RTM for short, which is a local radio and television station. He had also worked as an arranger for the Community Orchestra and the University Malaysia Sabah Orchestra. He arranged, played, and produced more than 80 commercial recordings in the state of Sabah between the years 1990 to 1998 under the Baxter and James Music Corporation label. He also served as a session pianist and keyboardist for various artists from Australia, USA, Hong Kong, Singapore, and Indonesia, such as Francis Yip, Maria Cordero, Johnny Tillotson, Rex Hamal, The Supreme Forever, and many more. In 2002, he joined the UMS as a lecturer of School of Arts, teaching jazz piano, music arranging, and orchestration. He was then appointed as a secretary for the music program portfolio for the School of Arts from the year 2004 until 2006. He then went on to become the arranger and pianist for the UMS Jazz Band from the years 2002 to 2008, as well as the head of the working committee for the introduction of the music diploma at the School of Arts of UMS. He was also appointed to positions for events within the university, such as being the coordinator for the Don Giovanni Opera held at the Dewan Recital Seni of the UMS on November 28, 2006. He has been appointed as the music coordinator for University Malaysia Sabah's convocation for 10 separate years between 2006 and 2019, as well as being the chairman for the Graduation Recital Organizing Committee for the School of Arts between the years 2006 to 2008. He also served as a facilitator for the first music camp organized jointly by the School of Arts of UMS, as well as the Rotary Club of Kota Kinabalu back in May 2007. In 2005, he was awarded the Outstanding Service Award of 2005 by the UMS. Dr. Ian Baxter has also written and presented numerous academic papers with various academic journals such as Wacana Seni, Gendang Alam, Borneo dalam Kepelbagaian Perspektif, and Sejarah Warisan and Folklore. So without further ado, once again, a very good evening to Ian. As our JPO family attendees are mostly students ranging from primary school to college, their parents and their teachers, the sharing of knowledge and advice here for all of us tonight is invaluable and greatly appreciated. The JPO is very honored to have Ian join in as our guest for tonight. I hope they will all join me in giving him a warm welcome. So once again, Ian, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Hi, everyone. How are you, Brian?
Hello, doing fine. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
That's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, to start tonight's interview, what can you tell us about the videos that we were just watching earlier on?
Okay, the video actually showcase our students, which we are very proud of, especially the music program, because a lot of our students who comes from these multi-ethnic backgrounds, they don't have a strong foundation in music education because, as you know, Sabah is quite away from the main music scene, especially away from Kuala Lumpur and stuff like that. and a lot of them that came in had very limited music knowledge, especially in theories and stuff like that. And I think through the years, we managed to build them up with the help of our lecturers and stuff like that, and also how we refine our programs, our curriculum, so that we can build up these students and actually be able to come up on stage and perform to that extent, And I think that was what I wanted to show, how the development of the music program has gone through many stages from these students to the way they are able to play in an orchestra and combine together in their playing. So basically, that's basically what the video was all about.
Hmm. All right. How about the second video, like the one showing you playing a jazz
Oh,
performance?
yeah, well, I was just kind of experimenting with different type of harmonies, which I like to do because playing jazz music, you explore a lot of different harmonies, different type of rhythms, and usually we want students to be able to do that, be able to explore music,
Hmm.
not looking at uh, music notes itself, but exploring sounds and experimenting with different type of harmonies, learning harmonies and all this kind of stuff, and harmonic progression and stuff like that. So I think the program, the music program has tailored its curriculum in that manner so that we can bring out the students' talents, and so that one day, in the hope that they can move forward and be able to stand among the world's musicians, or be able to play with them.
Hmm. All right. Well, that's good. That's good of the university then. So we've received some pictures from you. So as you've sent through. So would you like to elaborate a bit on these pictures? Yep. So yeah, it's about to show them now. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So these are things. Those are programs that we try to incorporate, working with different visiting professors, and one of them here is Dr. Loom. She's from University of Hawaii, and she is well versed in early childhood music education, and I think this program is good for our students because they will in turn one day go out and become teachers, and they need to teach students, especially the youngsters, how to appreciate music, how to understand music, about everything, every aspect of music, be able to express themselves, able to understand and about music better, And I think all these programs are designed in such a way that it converge or drives the students towards that, be able to be good musician, at the same time also be a good educator for the younger generation.
Hmm.
So some of these pictures here are students trying to showcase. But there is a difference, or levels. There are different levels standard among students, and some of them, especially those coming in from like Semenanjung, all this, they are much better in terms of development, musical development, because I think they are more exposed and they got more teachers, good teachers to help them, as opposed to we in Sabah here. So these are another visiting lecturer who introduced different type of music, flamenco music, with the guitar and stuff like that. And I think it also gives students another different perspective about different types of music that they find around in different parts of the world. And that will give them some exposure about those different type of music, the type of strumming, the type of rhythms that they play and stuff like that. And of course, we have recording studios, and I think we try to record all whatever projects that we have, so that students can hear back what they have already performed. And I think from from what they have learned and all that they put into practice, and then we record them so that they can hear the products of what they have done or gone through the years. You see.
Hmm. All right. Well, it's definitely good to hear that the UMS's facilities are so well prepared, and the curriculum is it's so diverse. So yeah, thanks for sharing all that with us. So what made you join the world of educators as opposed to being a professional performer like most musicians tend to do?
Yeah. Well, after being involved in the music industry in the early part of my life, and then later on joining the higher education system, uh, in the university, I realized that educating the younger generation, especially from this part of the world, especially outside here, give me the fuller satisfaction, especially of what I can contribute. It's not for myself, but I was thinking about what I can give back to the people here. And during my early years, growing up in a small town like Kota Kinabalu, I think in the early 70s, and there were not many qualified or caliber music teachers as we find today. There were just a handful of piano teachers, and so by default, every child that was given the opportunity to study music will definitely go for the piano instrument, and learn a little bit about music theory there. So it all depends on your teacher. If your teacher is good enough to teach you some music theories, then you will be at an advantage of knowing music theory. So when I was growing up in my teenage years, the pop culture were beginning to influence, and a lot of these kids, including me. So jazz music, however, this jazz music was very foreign to us, but I got interested after attending a jazz piano concert given by this performer, Judy Bailey. She's from Australia. I think she was a lecturer at the Sydney Conservatoire, I think. So one of those many rare jazz concerts during that time in Sabah, So I thought I was very fortunate. And the harmony and the improvisation that she was doing was fantastic, and something that I never encountered during that time. So it kind of got me interested to pursue that kind of studies, or to know more about it. So playing in the band gave me the opportunity to play with different musicians, which I felt gave me more satisfaction than playing the piano alone. So I knew that music was something that I like to pursue more, but I never thought that I would dedicate my life to this profession, being an educator rather than a performer. So during the many performances that I had, I realized that my harmonic vocabulary was very limited, and I needed to expand it. But resources back then was very limited. And however, I was very lucky to have gotten a study loan from the Sabah Foundation to study music at Berklee College of Music in Boston, Massachusetts. So during the years being a musician, studying in America, I realized that in order for the younger generation here, especially in Sabah, and also probably Malaysia, to move forward in terms of music, the Malaysian education system in school must introduce music curriculum so that the young and talented individuals can explore this art form of expression. Like dance, you have some form of expression. You like an artist, they have, through their paintings, they express what they feel about, So it's the same like here, So the youngsters here, they can express themselves through the music. So but in order for them to be able to do that, they need to know a little bit more about music theories, the music histories, and so that they can use those things to expand themselves. So basically, yeah, that answers that question just now. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's definitely good that this is what you decided to be your purpose in life. So yeah, I'm very sure that a lot of kids are very thankful that you've chosen this as your path in life. So yeah, but earlier on you did bring up like the challenges of music education back when you were trying to study music. So what do you find are the challenges about the current music education in Sabah and Malaysia in general?
Okay, many of my colleagues from various universities in the country have written numerous articles or journals and books regarding this subject, basically outlining the challenges of the Malaysian music education system. Music, let me just go back a little bit, maybe through the history. Music was first introduced to the education systems way back in 1816, I think, and I think that was in Penang, the Penang Free School, I think, and later on it was introduced to other parts of West Malaysia, I think Malacca, somewhere there. But for East Malaysian side, early music education was introduced, I think, through the Christian schools, I think, such as the convents and stuff like that. So I think a lot of our mothers actually learned their music through the nuns, and so basically it's not really a full music class. It is more used as a co-curriculum or as a tool of teaching, especially for English, for English classes, And the education ministry, after realizing that, through studies and stuff like that, that music build up pupils' inner development. And so they start to introduce formal music education for primary schools in, I think, 1983, I think around about the time, yeah. So the type of music education evolves usually around with singing choirs, playing with the recorder ensembles, and then of course dance activities, The new music curriculum, I think, was fully implemented in 1996. So it's not that long really, with 20 schools selected throughout Malaysia as part of a pilot project, And in 2001, I think the Ministry of Education expanded the music curriculum to other secondary schools. I think with Western theories, having Western musical ensembles such as choir and orchestra. I think so. The ministry also introduced a Malaysian traditional music as part of the curriculum. Like in Semenanjung, the Cikalempong and stuff like that. And then I think later on also they had introduced gamelan and stuff like that. So now music are also introduced to higher level of education at colleges, universities, offering major and minor courses in music. So those are the earlier challenges, I think, also the current challenges of the music education system, especially in Sabah and Malaysia. Okay. One of the going back to the challenges of our current music education, I think the one that we face now is the lack of qualified music teachers. Okay, that's one. The second one, probably lack of instruments and music rooms in schools and musical materials. So going back to the first one, when I said lack of qualified music teachers, is that we have the education system in Malaysia did not really give strong emphasis on music education because they prefer to focus on other subjects such as mathematics and science, which takes more important role or important part of their design, So the music education is put on the back area, and so what happened, just to kind of fulfill this music education thing, they send teachers, the headmasters of schools usually picks teachers and send them for a quick course in music workshop or something like that. And then, so this is what we call instant music teachers, where they just produce quickly so that they can teach students who are, so these teachers are usually, they lack the knowledge and the skill to teach music effectively to students. So that's why our music, especially in the interior, especially the schools in the interior, they don't have all this facilities. They don't have the teachers that actually teach them, or to understand music. So I think those are one of the current challenges that I think the Malaysian education system is, so yeah, this is also the beginning of music education, when the university, I think when the university was around, the music program came around about in 1999, I think, and I think our first job was to get music teachers. No, sorry, to get teachers from schools and put them in a 3-year music program so that they can be qualified music teachers. And so from 2002 onwards, we have put out, I think, two or three batches of teachers out into the education system, especially the schools in the interior. So our hope that in the years to come, a lot of our younger generation students will already know about music, know how to read music and be able to notate music. And so if they were to pursue their higher education in music, at least they don't come zero, as what we have experienced previously. So that's one of them. And then of course the lack of emphasis, like I said, in music education, because it's not that important, being overshadowed by maths and science and stuff like that. And the other one also is that some parents are not in favor of their children learning music in schools. I think this also has something to do with, because, they said music, you can't find any future in it, how to earn a living and stuff like that, you see. And the other one, of course, something to do with religious background. So a lot of a different religion, they think that music is haram, so that's why some of them probably don't want to send their children to study music. But I think through the years, I've seen some changes in this view. People has already beginning to relax a little bit and allow their children to take up music, because I think they see there is that benefits, there is that potential and all that for their child to grow, especially in the music. So yeah, so basically that sums up what I was probably want to tell you about the challenges that we face,
All right. Well, it's definitely very interesting to hear about the progression of music in our education system. So yeah, it definitely has come a long way since your time. So yeah.
Yeah.
I'd just like to before we move on with our questions, I would just like to remind our audience, if you have any questions for Ian, please leave them in the Q&A section down below for those of you on Zoom. And for those of you on YouTube, please leave them down in the live chat. So yeah, we'll address them in a while. And yeah, with that, we'll move on with our questions. Regarding digital media though, so what are your thoughts about the development of digital media as a tool to help with music education?
Okay. In today's world of digital technology, the advancement of information highway through the internet, it has made education accessible to millions. That was unheard of 30 or 40 years ago, and I think the speed of acquiring this information is unimaginable. It's really fast, So platforms such as YouTube also has provided the younger generation access to many sounds and visual performance that you don't find that before. That was not possible, and for those especially during living in the third world last time, And then now you have streamings, you have WhatsApp, you have Zoom, you have Google Meet, and all those digital medias definitely has given people access to information much easier and much faster. So in terms of, music education, it has definitely helped tremendously to many students, not only students, even to people like us, educators, because we learn so much from all these medias, and it has assist us in all our lectures and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely the development of digital media has helped us tremendously.
Hmm. All right. So how about regarding Western art music? So do you think that Western art music is a good medium to be taught in countries that have their own rich musical cultures, such as Malaysia? Because as you said, like even in West Malaysia, they have their own sort of like ensembles using just traditional instruments. But how about Western art music? Do you think this is a good way to introduce music?
Okay, we definitely are blessed with rich culture, both, Sabah, Sarawak, Semenanjung, Malaysia, we have diverse ethnic groups with all their own cultures and stuff like that. But uh, but in terms of music, uh, Western art music, I believe the Western art music culture is a well-established form of music that we can learn, especially when we look at music like identifying structures, identifying forms, identifying scales, musical scales, articulation techniques, and dynamics, harmonic movements, and so on. And if we can learn all this from the Western art music and actually apply it to traditional music, not to change it. I mean, ethnomusicologists definitely would go against me on that one, because, but what I'm saying is that if traditional music can be studied further, where we can understand their musical structure, how their melodic expand and how their rhythmic patterns are designed and stuff like that. Then the younger generation, or from multi-ethnic backgrounds, can appreciate their music much better, because they are able to analyze, they are able to understand the structures, they are able, because right now a lot of the traditional music, especially in the interior, the people who performs it don't really understand, or they can't talk to you about musical structure, because they'll say, what is that, But I think in order for you to expand your knowledge about your musical culture, I think it's good to learn from the Western art music, because they have a very established system of how you look at music, and I think we should use that one to try and understand our local music. So I think probably yes, we should try and use this Western art music, you know, um, knowledge to apply it to our traditional music. Yeah. So multicultural music education, I think, should be studied. Our students can, I think, develop better understanding. For me, I think the Malaysian society, which means if you if you study to to gain self-esteem. So studying, if you incorporate multicultural music education for students, I think they can develop a better understanding of their Malaysian society. So, and also gain their self-esteem. And then I think also learn tolerance of others. So probably that is a plus there. I think it also helps students take on a world-mindedness, where it helps international relationship also. I think lastly also multicultural music education helps students kind of broaden their sound base, more tolerant of new sounds, and then give them a wider palette of compositional and improvisational devices. So I think probably, yeah. So looking at Western art as a good medium to be taught in our multicultural, I would definitely agree with that one. Yeah.
All right. Well, many thanks for your good points there. Definitely didn't come across my mind regarding like how we could actually use like the structure of Western music into traditional instruments. So yeah, thanks for sharing that with us.
Hmm.
So how about your thoughts on the musical development of the younger generation in the near future?
Okay. The music development in Malaysia, I think is definitely developing at a high rate. I think, and with the emergence of these digital highways. On top of that, of course, I think the younger generation are quite a little bit more in tune, I think, with the changes and the development of music, worldwide, because they can get access to all these things through this media, And one thing again, they are able to upload their musical composition, discuss with friends from different parts of the country and probably from different parts of the world. And then I think also the education ministries are always monitoring the higher academic institution and also of course schools through Malaysian Quality Assurance Body. So there is that body that monitors all this, so that make sure that the education systems are in line with the government visions and stuff like that. And I think music is also probably already has been incorporated into that as one of the educational system programs, so that it'll slowly bring up the quality and standard of music or musicians in the country. Yeah. So I think with the Malaysian Quality Assurance, if the Higher Music Institute of Learning follows this set of guidelines, I think the education system will definitely improve. That's guaranteed to me. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, many thanks for your responses there. Just before we move on to our last question, before we move on to the Q&A section, I would just like to remind our audience that if you have any questions that you'd like to ask Ian, please type them out in the Q&A section of Zoom or leave them in the live chat of YouTube. So yeah, with that, I think we'll move on to our last question before we move on to the Q&A, which is from the JPO itself. So as you may have heard, the Jesselton Philharmonic Orchestra has involved itself in a variety of activities. So on behalf of the JPO, we would like to ask about your views on the JPO and its activities. Additionally, with all your experience, how would you suggest that the JPO and its members further improve itself?
I must congratulate JPO, Mr. Yapling, and the rest of you, the rest of the crew for JPO's team. JPO has come a long way. I think from the time I knew JPO and Yapling and to this day, be able to have this interview and where you can reach out to so many people. And I think JPO has made a lot of programs that are very beneficial to the younger generation. I think one of them is the music camps. I think where the music camps, they invite students, people who are from different backgrounds, different areas, and come and share in that camp and learn about music, and invite so many qualified professionals to come and assist. And I think that through all these activities, JPO, and I think, like what the university is doing, has contributed a lot in actually the development of the music program, especially in Sabah. And I think probably I can see now JPO is extending itself out, not only in Sabah but other places. I think, which is, that's why I am very glad to hear that, and I am very supportive of all whatever JPO's activities that they are doing. And then of course, I think the outreach program, and which I think we have, me and Yapling has talked a lot about these outreach programs, and he has kind of mentioned to me many times that we have met about the outreach program and how they help students who are unable to get access to music education, be able to get them instruments and stuff like that. And I think these are one of the noble or great things that JPO is doing, and I think they should continue doing it, because I think it helps so much to especially the youngsters, especially those are away from the city, those are in the interiors further up. And I think they would benefit so much on this. And the outreach program also has discovered a lot of young, talented little students that probably would have never been identified, because they don't have any venue to showcase their talents, be able to develop their talents. And then of course I think I've talked about or also discussed, I think probably in terms of the exams that the JPO is coming up with, which I think also is a good way forward, because I think that, some of the exams, music exams, are quite costly, and I think through this one we can give some hope to some of the students, who are economically sometimes at a disadvantage, to be able to take music exams. And these certificates actually can be recognized equivalent to some of the, the established ones. And of course, now you have these interviews, which I think is another good platform, because I think this is where a lot of ideas can be shared. And I think JPO has reached out, I think, to many different parts of the world now. And I am so glad that I was actually invited to be able to share my views, and or these interviews. So I thank JPO very much for it.
Well, once again, the honor is ours having you on board with us, and many thanks for all your messages. I'm very sure Teacher Atling is very happy to hear all of this. So with that, I think we'll move on to the Q&A section. We've received quite a number of messages on both YouTube and on the chat. So I'm just going to point out some of the people that have left you messages. I'm not too sure if they're leaving their actual names or if some of these are YouTube usernames. So we have Dav Rians and Peacewell saying, "Hi, sir." So I'm assuming these are your students. These are on YouTube. And we have Jiafan on the Zoom chat saying, "Hello, Dr. Ian." So it's probably another one of your students. We also have a Mandy Williams saying, "Hello, all the way from Singapore."
Oh, okay.
Yep. And we have a Jonathan Si saying, "Greetings, everyone. Greetings, Sifu Ian." So I'm assuming that's also a student of yours.
Okay, well, yeah, let me see if I can go through these questions.
All right, so we'll address our first one from Alan Jang. He's also left one on from YouTube. So he's saying, "Hi, Dr. Ian. What's the best way to practice harmony? Is it just like practicing an instrument as well?"
Okay, harmony. Okay, harmony is actually a science. It needs analysis, and you have to read a lot probably about the different type of harmonies that people come up with. Probably good to start probably is from people like Igor Stravinsky, Debussy probably. Look at Arnold Schoenberg stuff and all this. So these are all available information that you can get, especially from books and all that. So you need to read them and then you have to apply them, because knowing them by itself is useless unless you are able to apply them, especially in your playing or in your arranging or in your whatever that's related to music. So if you want to improve your harmony, you have to go through those steps.
All right. Well, I'm sure that Ellen is happy with the answer. So yeah, we also have a few questions coming in from some anonymous viewers. So they say stuff like, "Hello, doctor. In your opinion, what would be the first thing or initial thing that one has to do in order to overhaul or reintroduce a more formal or effective music syllabus into the education system? Also, what are the expectations of trying to introduce such systems?"
Okay, number one, I think probably we have to understand the kind of areas that we are in. Sometimes you want to learn what, or you want to pursue which type of music. You want to be a jazz musician, you want to be a classical musician, you want to be a pop musician, and you need to understand all these different genres. And if, say for example, I want to change the music education system, I have to make sure that that is in line with the Malaysian education system, that they want students to be educated in such a manner where music education molds the individual in that, so that they can go out and find a living. So usually the Malaysian education systems, they emphasize that what can your student, or how many % of your students usually when they graduate are able to find jobs. So we have to make sure that we design the curriculum so that it equips the students so that they can go out and be able to find a job. So that what they learn, they can put to practice. But of course, not all students will go out become performers. Some of them will become teachers, some of them become administrators and stuff like that. So it doesn't, you can design your curriculum in that manner, but at the end of the day, each individual students will have their own path, career path that they want to pursue. So sometimes you just follow what is currently needed by the education government or the education system.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing that with us. I'm sure they're happy with the answer. We have quite a number more questions coming in from different mediums, trying to manage it at the moment. Sorry about this. So we have quite a number. So we have a few more people saying hi as well. So Maria, Johnny, and Dong Duki just saying hello to you. We have CT saying mantap, Dr. Ian. And we also have Alan Zhang asking another question that I'm just going to leave for you in the chat. So yes, so Alan is asking, how do you teach jazz music to young children, especially in terms of early childhood education in jazz? In the context of jazz.
Okay, I think it all starts from listening skills. You have to expose them to if you say you want to teach them jazz, they need to listen to a lot of jazz, because they need to identify what type of jazz they are listening. You have your swing, bebops, you have your cool jazz, you have your fusion jazz, and you have, different type of jazz there. So I think it's good to expose young children the early part of the note. So you start with something that they can listen very easily. I think the boogie woogie probably is a good one because it's fast and up tempos and stuff. Because it's through that one, through the blues, the boogie woogie, it kind of move along into the swing eras and so forth and so forth. So there's that stage that it goes through, So you want to get them interested in listening to that genre of music first. So you can't just teach them how to play jazz. You need for them to be able to understand that music first and enjoy it, and then they will want to learn it. So I think that's how we should go about it. And I think you have to let them listen to a jazz music, not those complicated one, but a simpler version of a jazz music that they can adapt to it, or they can accept it. They can enjoy listening to it. Once a kid doesn't enjoy listening to a piece of music, no matter how you want to try and teach them, they just don't enjoy the music. So you have to kind of slowly drag them in, using something that they like to listen first, and then something that is of jazz in nature, and then slowly through the years, maybe get them interested in the more advanced jazz music.
All right. Well, I'm sure Alan's happy with this answer as well. So yeah, there's a question on the Q&A of Zoom. I think I'll just. Oh wait, yeah. If you could open it up. So we have Adek Alistair Aladdin. He's saying hello, Sir Ian, and he also would like to ask you a question in terms of teaching methods. So how and what system do you find are suitable to be implemented for a teacher teaching a student at age of six, or probably even a beginner at maybe at a later age?
Okay, that's quite a challenge actually, to teach a student at the age of 6, or a beginner. Okay, age of 6, students, you want to teach them something that you don't want to teach them to play the instrument first. I think you want to teach them how to appreciate the music, where they can clap, maybe they can dance to it, and be able to enjoy that music. And then later you'll teach them how to play that piece of music that they like to hear, and then you catch their interest, and then slowly build from that. But students at the age of 6 years old, they are quite a handful. They tend to run here and there. So yeah, so it'll be a challenge.
I'm sure Adek will find a way to do so. So yeah, with that, we'll move on to the YouTube questions again. We have Ani Nolfo saying hello, sir. And we also have a question from Leah Agatha Anaija. So yes, I've put up the question for you on the Zoom chat. So this person is saying, hi, Dr. Ian. So will it affect an ethnomusicologist if we wanted to do findings focusing only on traditional music? Not too sure what they're trying to ask, but yeah.
Okay. I'm not too sure what the question is directed at, but of ethnomusicology, the study of ethnomusicology is usually studies, music that you find among indigenous people, or people, who have their own cultures, and so if you wanted to do a finding focusing only on traditional music, yeah, if you want to focus on traditional music, then that comes under the ethnomusicology. So you go out into the areas, you stay with them, and then you see what the music is used for. Whether it's for, sometimes music used for certain ceremonies, some of them used for wedding ceremonies, Some of them used for ritual ceremonies and stuff like that. So that one, usually ethnomusicologists will study those things. And I think this one is purely research, because you need to go and stay with those people and understand their economic background, their social background and stuff like that. And how does their music becomes part of their culture, their things that they do socially, economically, stuff like that. So yeah, I hope that one answers you, Leah.
All right, so I think we have time for one last question. So I've put it up in the chat for you. So Dr. Ian Baxter, for the many years of teaching in university, what are the more challenging aspects of selecting new intakes of students to study music in the degree program?
Okay, through the years, we have relaxed our student intakes, especially the criteria that we have set. When we started out having this criteria that we set, which most students couldn't fulfill, because majority of our students came from Sabah or different parts of Sabah, and a lot of them do not have formal education, so they can't produce any BRSM certificate, grade 5 or grade 7 and all that kind of thing. So we have to kind of adjust our requirements in text, where we say, we want to see what instruments can you play and what kind of experience you have in music. And lastly, we want to see how much talents that this student have, And if we find that the student have abilities that we don't find,
Sufficient?
yeah, talents that they have a voice, they can sing, and stuff like that. And we feel that we can improve the person's musical ability by learning different techniques, And we said, okay, probably we should give this student a chance. And so that's how. So it boils down to, that's how we kind of select our students, especially those new students, the new intake students, to go into the degree program. Of course, they have to fulfill the university criteria, which means the academic requirements. As long as they have all the academic requirements, then the music part is just through the auditions, And of course, if those who have formal music education, then it would be a plus for them, because it will be easier for the acceptance into the music programs. Yeah.
All right. Well, many thanks for all your responses. I think we've just about run out of time for tonight's program. So sorry, everyone, but we are coming to the end of tonight's broadcast. We would like to remind everyone that our JPO family program will be broadcasted twice a week until further notice. So that's every Wednesday and Sunday. So join us next time with our next guest, who will be revealed at a later date. More details on this can be found on our Facebook page. A video recording of tonight's broadcast will also be available on the YouTube channel, along with the past webinars, as well as the soon-to-be broadcasted interviews. So feel free to share the Zoom webinar registration link with your friends and family, as well as the JPO YouTube channel and the JPO Facebook page. So for our YouTube audience, if you are enjoying our program, please show your support by pressing the like and subscribe button down below. So once again, you guys have been an amazing audience, and it was definitely fun having all of you here. We from the JPO family wishes that everyone stays safe and healthy as we continue to face this crisis together. So with that, I will now be leading the prayer to end tonight's program. So please pray in whatever faith you believe in regarding the COVID-19 pandemic. We pray that everyone in the world continues to stay strong in surviving through these difficult times, and that a solution to the virus will soon be found. We pray that the governments across the world continue to improve upon their efforts and decision-making so as to protect their people and curb the spread of the virus. We pray for the safety and well-being of everyone working as we approach the middle of November, and the number of cases across the world and our nation continue to drop. We pray for the continued safety and morale of the frontliners who are risking their lives so that they may continue to provide for those in need. We would also like to pray for everyone that's suffering in the world, and we would also like to pray for the safety of everyone in Manila as they are experiencing a typhoon at the moment. So with that, once again, thank you, Dr. Ian, and yeah, good night, and we hope to see you all again next time.